Well, today I'll be doing another versus video. This time it is two albums from two classic thrash metal bands, and these albums are W.F.O by Overkill and Low by Testament. Both released in the year 1994, a year that I feel we got a lot of great albums. Definitely a lot of great albums from that year, such as these albums and Far Beyond Driven by Pantera, Burn My Eyes by Machine Head, Korn's debut album, and of course many others. But yeah, these are these bands' third albums into the 90s. With Overkill, it was Horoscope, and then I Hear Black, and then W.F.O. And then with Testament, it was Souls of Black, then The Ritual, and then this album, Low. But let's first talk about W.F.O by Overkill. So yeah, something you definitely notice with this album is the bass. It's definitely up there in the mix, and I personally don't have a problem with that. It definitely helps give this album a somewhat unique sound, and helps the album stand out a bit more within their discography. And for me, when it comes to 90s Overkill, I think this is definitely one of the stronger albums. Again, when it comes to their 90s work, I think it opens up strong with Where It Hurts, which is definitely easily one of the best songs on here. With this album, you have your more thrashy or more faster moments, while also you have your moments that are a bit more groovy. Fast Junkie maybe being the most well-known song on the album, but definitely another highlight for me on the album, I'd say. But yeah, you have your faster moments on the album like Fast Junkie and They Eat Their Young, and then you have your more groovy type of songs. But I think the album closes with maybe one of their best album closers. Maybe, potentially, I don't know. I personally really dig this song, and that song is Gasoline Dream, a song that I feel is somewhat kind of underrated, not talked about as much as some of the other songs on the album, but I think it's definitely one of the best songs on the album. But I think the album does have some pretty good deep cuts though, like They Eat Their Young and Supersonic Hate and Under One. And then you have Bobby Blitz. I think vocally he still sounds great within this album. And yeah, his vocals might not be for everybody, but I personally dig his vocals on this album, such as in songs like Fast Junkie and They Eat Their Young. Yeah, overall, actually pretty good Overkill album, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's their best, but still, when it comes to ranking their albums, it would be in the upper half, I'd say. But yeah, pretty good Overkill album. But let's go ahead and move on to the other album for this versus video, and that is Low by Testament. So yeah, the first album without Alex or Louis. This time they have James Murphy, who played with Death. I believe it's the album Spiritual Healing that he played on, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you got James Murphy, and the person that replaces Louis is John Tempesta, who played with White Zombie. But yeah, overall, not bad replacements in my opinion. I do like those players, but yeah, overall, a good album. I'm not going to say that the album is great or amazing or anything like that, but still, overall, I'd say at least a good album. And I actually probably like this album more than, I do definitely like it more than Demonic. The Gathering, I'm not quite sure. This album and The Gathering might be neck and neck for me. I'm not quite sure, but I do think this album does have some pretty good stuff on it, though. Like the title track, which is easily one of my favorites on the album. Same with Hail Mary, which is a song that I feel is somewhat kind of underrated from the band in general. Legions and Hiding, I really dig the riff work in that song. Same with the riff work and All I Could Bleed and Dogface Gods. Those are some other really great songs on here. Shades of War is also pretty good. Yeah, kind of like with W.F.O, this album also does have a few skippable songs, but I wouldn't really call it really any of the songs on here straight up bad or terrible by any means. But yeah, I wouldn't rank this as one of their best, or their best of course, but still, overall, a fairly solid album, I'd say. Another thing you notice with this album is Chuck Billy's vocals. You can tell that he's trying new things vocally in the album, and I like what he's doing vocally in this album, especially in songs like Low and Hail Mary and Dogface Gods. But yeah, overall, fairly interesting album from the band. Can't really compare it to really any of their other albums in their discography. Except for maybe the vocals in this album, you can maybe compare it to the vocals on Demonic, especially with the death metal growls and that type of stuff. But again, kind of a unique album in their discography. But yeah, still, overall, a solid album from Testament. But yeah, if I were to pick which album wins for this video, I'd probably have to go with W.F.O by Overkill. I do feel like that album does have less filler than Low, and I feel like W.F.O, the highs on W.F.O are a bit more impressive than the highs on Low, but my mind on that could change anytime. But either way, again, gonna have to go with W.F.O. But anyways, let me know your thoughts, let me know which album you like more, and all the good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, subscribe, have a nice day, and take care.